getting back to NXT, there's a huge change coming in NXT, right? And we're gonna get to that in a second. But a lot of people said a lot of things about the state of where the brand was last summer and how people were leaving and stuff like that. Like, what did you feel like the temperature was like there when people started kind of saying, you know what, I'm not gonna come back, like Adam Cole not coming back and stuff like that? Were you shocked, or was it like, something that was like kind of telegraphed?
So I think so. Shocked, not fully shocked. Kind of like I want to say surprised, but kind of just like okay, like Adam leaving and going to AEW. Like I wasn't fully shocked just because of the certain things that I know that he loves to do. We all know Adam Cole loves to stream. It's like, and he's openly publicly said it. So it's just kind of one of those things where certain guys aren't able to get their, their own itch or their own certain, like their own way in certain ways, which is not bad. Like if somebody wants to stream and that's what they want to do and they want to be able to live their life that way, then they're fully entitled to it. But I was kind of this like Kyle O'Reilly. I was like, oh dang, okay. Johnny Gargano. Like I think that was the one that shocked me. Now, I'm not saying Johnny's going to AEW or whatever, because I have no idea what Johnny's doing. But I think the temperature last summer, was definitely like these guys are lifers. Like I wasn't expecting to see them like leaving NXT ever type stuff. And then we we go into this meeting. And I realized NXT was going to change at that point in time. Yeah. And the meeting were, the infamous Vince meeting that, people talked about here and there. Like I was actually in that meeting, sitting in that meeting. And I remember like we all got there early as heck. And, and Vince comes and he's with Triple H, Nick Khan, Bruce, the whole team, and then
the Horsemen, Jesus
like,
Christ,
the whole regime. And it was like we set up in the gym. We had cameras all set up because he was taping his speech and all that stuff, and Vince was talking, and he talked about a lot of great things that for me, as just a person, it makes sense. Right, like he talked about certain things on how you wanted certain things to be, like for producers, and he wanted to challenge producers and coaches to think of matches differently. He wanted to challenge NXT to be different. He wanted to change the structure of NXT, and he said it then. And this was like I forgot however long ago. He said he wanted to change the look, the feel of NXT. He wanted to feel like NCAA type stuff, And I was like, I understand that, and it just one of those things where now looking at it, if his vision was 2.0. then man, there's a reason why he is who he is, because 2.0 has been the breath of fresh air for the wrestling industry, period, especially for WWE. Like they made stars out of Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, and Trick, and all these guys and girls, of course, are superstars. And it's like, man, it's like it happened just like a snap of a finger. So what Vince saw was truthfully the then, now, and forever. And now he realized, okay, we got these stars, but it's time to start thinking about the future. And everything that he said in that meeting came to fruition. And we all left that meeting like being like, wow, okay, a change is coming. Now, granted, it was like,
let's talk about this. There, you mentioned a meeting. There was a meeting. There was a report that came out last summer that Vince had come down to the PC. And everyone makes jokes about this meeting. I know you were actually there.
Yes,
and you know what happened, and you said you told me that absolutely happened. Usually when shit comes out on NXT, do dirt sheets, Cornell is the first one that would be like, that's cap. He'd be like, that's not happening, bro. Like, nah.
It just one of the things where even back in NXT where it was definitely like I kind of felt for the people in charge down there, because at one point everything just started coming out, and I'm just like, all right, and some of it could have been true, and a lot of it was definitely false, but I was like, man, at what point in time does stuff say in house, So when the whole Vince meeting happened, yes, he did come down to the PC, and he did talk to us about a good maybe hour and a half, 2 hours. He did go over to the other PC and do a tour and look at all the talent in there, and they were doing certain things over there. And that did happen. Kevin Dunn came down as well. Like I said, Bruce was there. So it did happen. And at that point in time, it wasn't like people were like scared. People were excited, because at that time, a lot of the new talent, like Melo and all them, were like fresh in about a couple of months. So this is the first time they probably was crossing paths with Vince in a way. So right. It was like the energy in the building was cool. Like it wasn't like, oh my God, our parents are home, go to sleep. Like, oh my God, I'm scared. And it was exciting because the energy that Vince was bringing wasn't like, oh, I'm here to fire people. It's like, I'm just here to see what's up. Like, right. What's good? Like, what's happening down here?
So what exactly did he say? Like when everyone sat down in the meeting, was it sort of just like, I'm seeing what's going on. and I want to make some wholesale changes, because like the meme is, oh, when he came down, him and Nick Khan came down and they told Triple H to get on his knees, and you know what I'm saying?
Man,
It's on. All right, get it. All right, everybody get out.
When Vince came down, dude, he sat down. He basically told people his history of wrestling and why he loved it and what made him get into it, and then that segue into WWE as it is today and the stuff that he wants to see in the future. And it was something that he said that him and Hunter talked about it for X amount of time. So it was definitely something like that. I don't think everybody's now making these little jokes about Hunter. And I'm going to tell you right now, that man is one of the most genuine and brightest and just I don't know how many adjectives I can describe somebody in such a positive light. That man is the I don't want to curse on your podcast, but he's the effing man. I'm going to tell you that right now. So like that meeting was never in any type of disrespect to what Hunter has done, what Triple H has done at all. It was definitely something where it seemed like a unified decision when everybody's on the same page and everybody was understanding and everybody was going towards the same goal. Because I just remember, I wish you know what, J5, I promise you, but when this is over, by the time this goes out, I'm going to send you pictures of what I wrote down in my notebook. Right. Because again, that meeting was something where he was challenging even people like myself who was producing and shooting content to shoot stuff differently and think outside the box and not try to do original, go back to basics on certain things like wrestling. Like for instance, like something he did highlight was like, how many times have you seen people fighting outside the ring and then somebody gets help thrown inside, like, oh here, grab me, roll me inside the ring. No, he said he don't want to see that. Or you see somebody lining up for a laying on a mat, somebody's on a turnbuckle and they're sliding over to get to their spot. But so that was the kind of stuff that he said he doesn't want to see anymore. Which I'm like, I was like, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, as a casual wrestling fan, I'm not gonna say casual, but as a wrestling fan, right? And the stuff that we talk about is like the small little things like that, because now we're adults, we're not kids no more. So now we're adults, we see certain things. So I didn't see nothing wrong with that. I thought that was like, yeah. When he was talking about when people getting dragged around the ring, he was like, why would I want to? He was like, if you're in a fight, I'm not gonna let you drag me around. I'm gonna push you off of me. It's like, exactly. So but it's a simple thing that some people, just because of a lot of these people that make these stuff up about him, I say like the internet people who never probably met him or anything like that, it's like, man, y'all just gotta chill out, man, because it's just one of the things where people create their own narrative about people and then they spin it and then they stick with it like it's gold, and it's like, nah, man, it's not like that. I met that man 3 times, and every single time it was cool.
Yeah.
It was never no disrespect. It was never like, oh, I'm the boss. It was like, hey, how you doing? It was all, and even dating back to the stuff happened, last April, when I was gone for X amount of time due to the tragedy. It was like Seth McMahon called me with Vince and Hunter in the back or whatever, and we talked, and they were like, that's the thing. Like a lot of people, they have they have their own narrative, they have their own vision about somebody because what happened with somebody else, which is unfortunate because it happened to somebody else. But man, people aren't always bad people.